What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another video at Elvis is the Man. Before we get into this, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any other informative and entertaining videos like this and others that I have on my page. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's go.
And I said, Elvis, I know why you don't get any good songs. And the room got real quiet. Because, see, you never knew how he was going to react. And he looked at me and said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, let me start off by saying there isn't a songwriter out there who wouldn't want you to record one of his songs.
Alright, so you guys ever wonder why when you buy like Elvis Greatest Hits albums, like Elvis Ones or others, about 80-85% of the songs that are going to be on there are songs from like the 50s or early 60s, right? How many songs do we have from like 61 on? I can think of Burnin' Love, not counting the 69 sessions, okay? If you take out the 69 sessions, how many hits does he have in that collection? Just a few. You know why? Because they're gonna put like select songs from one of Elvis's movies or just something like that just to fill space. When you buy Elvis Ones, there's only like 3 songs past 1969. He had no #1 singles in the 70s and only one #1 song past 1962. You ever wonder like why is that? Here's the reason. Alright, so in the 50s, Elvis worked with a duo, a songwriting duo named Leiber and Stoller. Okay, these guys worked for Hill and Range, which was Elvis, the company that Elvis was with for recording and getting songs, okay? So these songwriters were a duo and they wrote some of Elvis's biggest hits. They gave him great songs. He recorded Hound Dog from them, Don't, Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, you know, so many big hits throughout the 50s were because Elvis got, for the time, great songs. You know, Hound Dog, you know, Don't Be Cruel isn't a song that would like be a hit now, but back in the day, these were songs. These were good songs. For example, Elvis had these guys with him on demand. One was with him even in the recording of Jailhouse Rock. He was at the piano with him. Elvis had these people on demand that could write songs for him. Elvis told them one weekend, hey, why don't you write me a really nice ballad? They came back after the weekend with Don't, which was a #1 hit. So Elvis was not having a shortage of songs to choose from. But after 1958, when Elvis got back from the army, they didn't write songs for Elvis anymore. And you can count on one hand the #1s that Elvis had since then. It wasn't because he's like, oh, well, you know, he's just doesn't really click with the audience, so he's just, you know, not doing so well. There's a reason. Elvis didn't get good songs in the 60s and 70s because he could not get good songs. This is what happened to sever the ties with Elvis and Leiber and Stoller. So here's an article I found online about the exact details of what happened to sever this relationship. Basically, long story short, I'm gonna summarize it. The breaking point for them came when Leiber was recovering from a bout of pneumonia about 2 years later, and Parker ordered them to California to write songs for a new movie project. Leiber explained that he had just been released from the hospital and was unable to travel. Parker said, you'd better get your A out there. He then sent a packet with a contract for them to sign. Leiber says he pulled the contract from the packet and found only a dark line across the middle of a blank page for his signature. I called and said, I think you made a mistake. There's no contract in here. He said, don't worry about that, boy. Just sign your name and I'll fill it in later. Leiber says he then discussed it with Stoller, who told Parker to screw himself. So Parker was the one that got rid of the great songwriting duo Leiber and Stoller for Elvis. After that, songwriters started to come into their own, like Bob Dylan, the Beatles wrote their own songs. It was the new thing to write your own songs. The company that Elvis was with and Parker demanded that Elvis get 50% of the royalties for every song that he records. At that time period, who was going to do that anymore? Nobody was going to get rid of 50% of the profits just so Elvis could record the song. So that kept Elvis from getting great songs. For example, Dolly Parton came to Elvis in 1973. There was 2 songs that he was going to record of hers that Elvis wanted to do. One was I Will Always Love You and Coat of Many Colors.
My coat of many colors that my mama made for me.
Elvis wanted to do these songs and Dolly wanted him to record them. But the day before they were about to get in the studio, Parker said that she needed to give up 50% of the royalties for Elvis to record these songs, and she just wasn't able to do it. She hated to do it, but she just didn't sell the song. She didn't give up her royalties. So Elvis couldn't record those songs. So other than 1969 when Elvis had Kentucky Rain smash hit, In the Ghetto, Don't Cry Daddy, Suspicious Minds, what was the difference with this session? Elvis got records and songs from other people. Mac Davis, who wrote Suspicious Minds. Elvis went outside the box and got music. Here's what the Memphis Mafia had to say about it. I was watching this the other day, and listen to what they say. This is actually what happened. Notice how it says that Elvis decided to do something different. Let's play that footage.
And I said, Elvis, I know why you don't get any good songs. And the room got real quiet. Because, see, you never knew how he was going to react. And he looked at me and said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, let me start off by saying there isn't a songwriter out there who wouldn't want you to record one of the songs. But when they have to give up 25 or 50% of the publishing, they tell the Colonel's office and Hill and Range, you know, to go to hell. Well, it got real silent because I didn't know, they didn't know how he was going to react. He was sitting behind his desk in a swivel chair and he started swiveling his foot. And when he did that, you know, 1, he was thinking, and 2, he could explode any minute. And he looked around and he said, I tell you what, fellas, I want everybody who needs to know that I want to hear every fucking song written. He said, I'll be the one to make up my mind.
Elvis saw then and said, okay, something, you know, that's what Marty said, something must be true to what he's saying, because all of a sudden I got all these good songs here and I ain't been getting a damn thing from anywhere else. So that turned him around, you know, and he started listening to everything that he could.
So guys, it's unfortunate. Elvis couldn't get good songs. You know, he had to sing, you know, lesser hits, pulling up things from a long time ago. He wasn't a songwriter. And you know, if you think about it, Linda Thompson, who Elvis started to date in 1972, later became a very successful songwriter. Whitney Houston sang her song, I Have Nothing, and she had a lot of hits as a songwriter. Now, she used to write poems for Elvis, and those poems could have been turned into songs. But Elvis wanted to keep it private, they wanted to keep it between themselves. But later, Linda turned those poems into songs and they became hits. So Elvis could have had his own little songwriter right there. But that's what happened. That's the story about why Elvis couldn't get any hits. He just, his publishing company demanded too much. Parker wouldn't let any songs get to Elvis. And for some reason, Elvis kind of went along with it. It's funny to note what they said here. I'll read this to you. They did never work with Elvis again, says Lieber. Like many others, he wondered about Parker's hold on Elvis. I think he, Elvis, had a very weak father and didn't get a sense of what a father was like. Parker came along and his attitude was, do this, do that, and I'll take care of everything. Parker became his surrogate family. So that's the story about why Elvis couldn't get songs. Like I said, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me on Elvis is the Man.